Welcome back to the Boot Tragedies.
All right, we're going to do a mock draft for the Saints. First one, I'll do plenty of these mock drafts. Try to pick different players each time, make some trades each time. This first time, we're going to trade back. We're going to trade back, and with the first pick, we're going to trade with the Dallas Cowboys right here, so drop it from 9 to 12. And we're going to take Will Campbell from LSU. Obviously, really good player at LSU, All-American. Played left tackle for the Tigers. Started 3 seasons. We'll take a look at his draft profile right here. 6'6", 323. We'll wait until the full measurements come out. Dude's a big dude. Really good. I think he's going to play guard in the NFL. Just my personal opinion. I think he's going to be a really good guard, but can play tackle. So he kind of gives you some versatility on the offensive line, just in case Trevor Penning doesn't work out. Now, I'll give you a couple options, a couple scenarios it can play out. With Will Campbell, say Trevor Penning doesn't work out at right tackle, you can move Fuaga back over to right tackle because obviously he played that at Oregon State in college, and then let Will Campbell play left tackle. Now you have 2 really good tackles for the next 10 years for the Saints, and that's kind of what you want. It's kind of like the Armstead and Ramchick, how you had really two really good tackles. That's just going to set your offensive line up for future success. Now let's say Trevor Penning ends up keep developing, played okay this year from where his expectations were. Played okay. And if he plays really good, you can slide Will Campbell on that offensive line, maybe at left guard, maybe at right guard, probably left guard. And now you can come up to the season with Fuaga, you have Will Campbell, you have Eric McCoy, you have Ruiz, and you have Trevor Penning. And I think that's a really good offensive line. That's a really upgrade, a really good upgrade on what we've been having. So if you can tell me if I can have Fuaga, Will Campbell, Eric McCoy, Ruiz, and Trevor Penning, I'm really fine with that offensive line. And I'm honestly, I'll take that. I'll take this draft and that pick instantly today. They have them, overall ranked 15th, the third best tackle. And I'm using NFL Draft Buzz just because I like their layout. Their word isn't law. Their rankings isn't law. Everyone's gonna have different rankings and things like that. But I'm just using them just because I like the way their layout is. Obviously, first team All-American, like I said. Started every game at left tackle from day one. Immediate impact. Obviously, we got the number 7 for LSU. I have thoughts about that, but that's neither here nor there. 2,554 snaps. Basically playing every snap in 22 or 25 SEC games. Then right here, after allowing 3 sacks as a freshman, win the final 15 games without surrendering a single quarterback takedown. Obviously, really good. I mean, started left tackle when Jaden Daniels was there, putting up great numbers. For his 2 years there, and had a year with Garrett Nussmeier. Dude, just really good, and I would really love this pick for the Saints. You can look at some of his strengths. Masterful, I'll just read these. Masterful pass protector who plays with exceptional patience and matches power. Rushers, forced with a stout anchor and precise hand placement. Some Trevor Penning never really, had. He's getting better at. Nasty finisher in the run game. Shows elite recovery when beaten, quick feet, exceptional football IQ displays, beautiful footwork and pass protection, brain is juice as a run blocker, outstanding grip strength, natural knee bender who maintains leverage through contact. Weaknesses we can see below average arm length, which is probably where you can be better used as a guard. Will occasionally overset against speed rushers, sometimes play with high pad level. Can get caught lunging when attempting to cut off backside pursuit. Needs to show more consistency maintaining his base throughout sustained blocks. And obviously everyone's going to have weaknesses. Everyone's going to have strengths. No one's going to be a perfect prospect coming into this. Let's read this summary. Campbell fits profile day 1 starter with some scheme versatility and Pro Bowl upside. While his collegiate career was at tackle, with outstanding his skill set and physical tools might actually be better suited inside at guard in NFL. I didn't even read this. I just kind of tell. Out of all of these guys I'll have on this list, Will Campbell is the guy I watched the most just because I watched LSU the most. So I'll know more about him. His combination of power, technique, and mobility would make a perfect fit in a zone blocking scheme where his ability to climb to the second level and pull in space will be maximized. All that I agree with. All of that I agree with. I think he'll be a better guard in the NFL than a tackle, but I also think he'll be a Pro Bowl tackle. I just think he's that good of a player. And I mean, if the Saints drafted him, it'll be great. Great in my opinion. Next up on the list, we got Jack Sawyer, edge, Ohio State. Now this one, I mean this with all due respect. It's time for us to get one of those white boys on the edge. Hey man, I've watched one game of Jack Sawyer. I'm going to be honest. I watched one game. That was the playoff game, the last game they played against Texas, and I liked everything I saw. He fits all of the traits of the white boy defensive line. High motor, doesn't stop, doesn't give up. Menace in the pass rush. I just like all of those things about him. 22 years old, obviously playing Ohio State, who has a a record of putting out great defensive linemen. I think this guy's just going to be really, really good. If we can draft him, in that second round, he might go late first, and he might even go mid first, depending on how he tests. I don't think he's going to test the greatest. Just like he's not going to be a Davenport tester, basically. I'm not saying we need a Davenport type guy. I just don't think he'll be a 4 or 5 guy or something crazy like that. That numbers jumped off the charts, but he's a really, really good player. 5-star recruit. Obviously in Ohio, so obviously, highly touted coming out of high school, and for a guy to be highly touted coming out of high school and then makes that impact in college as well. A freshman, 7 tackles, 4 sacks. Sophomore year, 22 tackles, 3 sacks. Junior year became a full-time starter, 49 tackles, 6.5 sacks, 9 quarterback hits. Honorable mention All Big Ten in 2022. Guy's just really, really good. And had another good season this year. I think he had like 7.5 sacks this year, something like that. So he's got after the quarterback every year he's been, at Ohio State. I think he'll be a really, really good pick in the second round. We'll kind of read some of his strengths as well. I won't go through everybody's strengths, and I'll try to skim through some of these. Well-built and versatile. Can play both standing up with his hand in the dirt. High motor, relentless effort. Like I said, I really didn't even read these. I just kind of pulled them up. Chasing down quarterbacks, running backs, never quitting on plays. This is the white boy bullet point that's going to be in every white defensive end draft combine. This is what they put. I'm not going to lie. They put this the stereotype. They're never going to quit, high motor, blah, 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 blah. And these things can be true, but it's like when you get a white receiver, smart, can run routes, things like that. Like a guy like Ladd McConkey. That's kind of why he fell in the draft. In my opinion, I think he could have been a very, very high receiver. I really, really wanted him, but they put the stereotypes on him, and that's kind of how it goes, unfortunately. Explosive first steps, capable of straightening off the edge with speed, displayed a lot of pass rush moves. We need a guy that could come in with pass rush moves already. Good discipline on the backside. Shows ability to extend and shed blocks. That's really good. Weaknesses, inconsistent use as a pass rusher. Which basically he doesn't play it as much. Letting the offensive lineman make first contact. Limit athleticism and quick twitch. Shows stiffness while bending on the edge. Occasional lapses in disengaging from blockers. Average get off speed. Like I said, he's probably not going to test well. But I really, really liked him. In the game I saw, like I said, didn't watch a lot, but the game I saw looked absolutely amazing to me. Next up, we're going to go Tre Harris, Ole Miss receiver, Mississippi. I would never call him Mississippi. Tre Harris, Ole Miss, 6'3", 210 pounds, from Lafayette, Louisiana. Another Louisiana product we can get. It was at Louisiana Tech. I didn't even know that they had full statistics right here. Maybe I'll go back for Jack Sawyer, look at his. Actually, let's do that real quick to see if they have that. Or was that just a receiver thing? Huh? Let's see. Let's check this out. Didn't know this was right here. I was guessing on his stats. Yep. 3 sacks, 5 sacks, 7 sacks, 8 sacks. So yeah, I said 7.5. I was close. 8 sacks for Jack Sawyer. Had an interception this year as well. 2 forced fumbles, 53 total tackles this year. Really, really good job from Jack Sawyer. Now let's go back to Tre Harris. Big body receiver, probably going to be a 4 or 5 range, which is good for a guy that's 6'3". That means he has decent speed, can still stretch the field vertical. I think he's a really, really good player. 2-star recruit, bet on himself. Went to Louisiana Tech, had a really, really good year. And a 2-star recruit doesn't bother me. Justin Jefferson, 3-star recruit. I'm not saying he's Justin Jefferson, obviously, but doesn't really matter. From Louisiana, we pluck receivers out here like it's nothing, like it's nobody's business. Let's just kind of look at some of his strengths. Masterful catch point. Obviously, he's big. Can box out defenders with natural hands. Elite ball track on deep routes. Physical monster in the red zone, which we need. Shows savviness in the stems and breaks. Excellent field awareness. Brings a dog mentality to the blocking game. Definitely we need. If we can get our best receivers or also be able to block, that's really, really good. You don't have to take those guys off the field and put blockers on the field. Clutch perform elevates games in the big moments. He has 153-yard explosion against LSU in the Peach Bowl. Against LSU and Peach Bowl heroics against Penn State. Weaknesses, acceleration off the line, lacks explosiveness, sometimes struggle to beat press. Route tree remains somewhat limited. That's Ole Miss fault. That's Lane Kiffin's fault. They just kind of run a little college system. Play speed is not elite. Contact balance could improve. Now, he's a big body guy. He's not going to be a speed demon. When you got Chris Olave, you got Rashid Shaheed, we don't really need another speed demon. You get a guy that can work the middle, guy that can run those short routes. Kind of be, not going to say Michael Thomas because that'd be crazy to compare to Michael Thomas, but a guy like that, work underneath and things like that, I think it'd be a really good pickup for the Saints. I just like Tre Harris. Next up, Fannin Jr. Now, this guy has risen late. I got him going 71 with the Saints. And now that Tre Harris pick was with the trade. We got that from the Cowboys. So, obviously, we don't have that pick in the second round. But I think if we trade back, another second round, that's the best thing for the Saints. Now, Fannin Jr., tight end, like I said, rolls late, has become basically almost a household name at the tight end position. And if we look at his stats, actually, let's go back 1 second. Keep forgetting, look at these stats. Didn't even know this tab was available. Obviously at Louisiana Tech, had 40 catches, 572, 65, 935, 54, 985, and then 60 catches at Ole Miss, 1,000 yards, 17 average, 7 touchdowns. That's really, really good from a guy that played SEC ball. So he's experienced, gonna be ready to play day one. Like I said, played 5 years in college, so I think he's a really good player. Now, Fannin Jr., 6'4", 230 tight end from Canton, Ohio. That's already a good thing because, hey, that's the Pro Bowl, man. I mean, not the Pro Bowl, that's the Hall of Fame. Hey, we get a guy that's from the Hall of Fame. Let's check his stats out first before we read some of this. You know, his stats were crazy this year. Freshman year, 19 catches, 218 yards. Look at the progression. 44 catches, 623. And now this year, 117 catches, 1,555 yards, 10 touchdowns. Even had 9 carries, 65 yards and a touchdown. Guy is just really, really good. I mean, really, really good tight end. Let's look at his player overview real quick. I'm going to try not to make this too long, but hey, who cares? Obviously from Canton, Ohio. We mentioned that to go straight to the sudden burst off the line with speed to stack defenders vertically. That's really, really good. Something Juwan Johnson can do as well, but he doesn't catch the ball. Vacuum hands. Love to see that. Yak, yards after catch weapon who runs wiggle and burst. Love to hear that. Advanced stem work and route salesmanship creates separation. Love to see that. Swiss Army knife. Deployment potential with snaps from multiple alignments, showcasing scheme versatility. That's really, really good. Like you see, he has some carries. So if Taysom Hill comes back, you got a guy that got some carries, a guy that can play tight end. I mean, you can get crazy with them guys. Like if we had him, if we had Taysom, if we had a good offensive coordinator, you can get crazy with some looks and things like that. Loose hips, technically sound perimeter blocker. You really, really like that with a guy that can catch the ball. Plus durability with availability across 3 seasons of heavy usage. Weaknesses. Severe size division for the wide position and concerning play strength with limiting inline blocking upside. Yeah, he's not the biggest, but I mean, hey, he's a receiving tight end. You're going to get what you can get. Lacks sand in his pants when anchoring against power. I mean, yeah, I was so confused on what they were trying to say. Yeah, this sand, that's basically blocking again. Route tree heavily manufactured through screens and scheme touches at regular NFL concepts, and that's okay. They're trying to give him the ball. It's college. That's what happens in college. You're trying to get your best player the ball, so we're going to scheme him open. I don't think that's a weakness. Struggles to combat press coverage with limited hand uses and functional strength at the line of scrimmage. That's something to give. All this is basically saying he's small, he's a little weaker, he's a little undersized. Limited exposure against NFL caliber defenders raises questions about translation of athletic traits. But I mean, it's a lot of tight ends that come from, you know, weird schools and small schools or tight ends that really didn't get usage. So none of that concerns me. The guy can run routes, the guy fast, the guy can catch the ball. I really, really like him at the tight end position. Next up, we got Winston Jr, safety from Penn State. We can click on him. Let's check out these stats. We got a burger on the screen, all type of nonsense going on. Played 3 years at Penn State. 13 solo this year. I'm not sure if he got hurt or not. 60 tackles, 16 tackles, only 13 this year. 8 solo, 1 forced fumble. Let's read. I'm like I said, I didn't do my research on all of these players like that. 6'2", 205. That's really, really good size. Let's see if he got hurt this year. Let's see if they, you know, say something like that. I'm not quite sure. Based on the scene in the starting safety job as a sophomore. 60 tackles, his reduction on the field game, all Big Ten honors mentions from now goes forward. As a true freshman, 12 games, 16 tackles. Doesn't really say. Strengths, well, let's go with strengths. Exceptional tackler, like that. 2% missed tackle rate in 2003, ranked second. We can't tackle, so that'll be lovely right there. That'll be super, super lovely. Explosive downhill player, instinctive and coverage with ability to disrupt timing. Utilizes length effectively on wrap-up ball carries, quick backpedal, aggressive play style, natural ball skills. I do like that. Weaknesses, needs to improve pad level. That can be coached up, maybe not with the Saints. Who knows? Frame could use additional mass. Every college player can get bigger. Can be overly aggressive at times. That's coachable. I read a guy that's too aggressive, not aggressive at all. Must refine technique. Everybody's going to need that. Lower body flexibility, change direction skills, have room for improvement. You definitely don't want that. You need a rangy safety. So definitely going to have to get that figured out. That's obviously why he's not a very, very high touted. I mean, still mid-round type guy. So I do like him. I saw a couple plays on him. Didn't see a lot. I'm not going to pretend I watched every one of these guys in super, super detail. Next up, we got Vernon Broughton, defensive lineman. Texas, a big boy. We got 6'4", 305 pounds, a guy that I would just want. We gotta shore up that nose tackle, that defensive tackle position. Get bodies in that middle. Just got to get bodies in the middle. Late bloomer who transformed to high school hooper. I like that. Athleticism. Academic excellence. Don't really care. I'm not gonna be honest. We got you to play football. You gotta be smart. But defensive tackle, you don't really gotta be that smart. No offense to defensive tackles. You just hit the man in front of you. Super simple. Not really, but you get what I'm saying. 6'4", 305, 55 career games for long corner, 69 tackles, 10.5 tackles for loss, 5.5 sacks. Let's see. Explosive first step. That's really good. Powerful hands. Shows rare closing speed for 305 pound. Advanced pass rusher repertoire. Outstanding leverage player. Displays exceptional lateral agility. High motor. When a rusher begins relentless energy on every snap. I like that. Especially somebody being that big. Scheme. Versatile frame with the length of play to 3-4. Or penetration 3 technique, giving defensive coordinators multiple options for deployment. I think that's really, really good. Being versatile. Weaknesses still developing consistency and run defense. Don't really like that. Didn't know this. Like I said, didn't watch these guys. We need a big run defender. He's kind of, the way they explained him, he's kind of giving me Broughton vibes. Not obviously not as good as Brian Broughton, who's a first rounder, but just kind of the way they explain it, his strengths and weaknesses. Raw power, movement needs refinement. Heavily on athleticism. Yeah, this is Brian Broughton all over again. Despite having good use, you need to improve arm extension, control blockers. That's going to help you in the run game. Tackling technique shows concern. Production doesn't match his athletic traits, suggesting he's still developing instincts, consistent play, games at the point of attack. Yeah, this is basically saying he's more ready to pass rush than defend and run right now. I don't think the Saints really need that, but like I said, I didn't really do super homework on all of these guys. But I do like if you can put on third down situations, have a kind of a guy that's better, against the pass rush with Brian Broughton in that middle, I wouldn't mind that at all. Obviously these guys, you're hoping and things like that they can turn into something, maybe a couple years, develop them, because you're not drafting starters this late in the draft. Anyway, next up we got Josh Preby, don't know how to pronounce his name, from Michigan. Didn't have a lot on him, but he started every game at Michigan at guard, and we're not going to go into super detail about this guy. You're drafted for depth right now. Obviously, we've been injured at the guard position a lot, injured just on the offensive line a lot, with McCoy going down, Ruiz going down, Patrick going down. Now, in this draft, we already drafted Will Campbell, so that kind of helps with the offensive line depth, which you can never have too many offensive linemen. A guy that played in a really, really good Michigan system. I think he went to Northwestern as well, so a guy that we can just draft late. Hopefully he develops, maybe a practice squad guy, maybe get called up, be a backup for some games. You're not expecting much out of a guy in the 6th or 7th round as a backup lineman. But hey, who knows? Like I said, played at Michigan, who ran the ball really, really well. So I'm just going to assume he's good in run blocking and things like that. So we'll see. We'll see how that turns out, if they draft him. If not, who cares? Because like I said, late round pick. And last but not least, we have one more on the list and we're going to get out of here. Fentrell Cypress, cornerback, Florida State. 6 foot 188. Gonna be a late draft pick. So another one guy you can hope and come in on special teams, maybe contribute right there. Maybe in a couple years compete for maybe a backup job, starter job. Like I say, 7 rounders. You're not expecting starters to come out here. We can kind of go through his strengths real quick. Shows fluid footwork and smooth transitions. Demonstrates strong instincts in man end zone. Versatile defender. Multiple phases of game include special teams. He's going to need that, especially if he wants to make NFL roster. Shows excellent relative athleticism, adjusting quickly, sudden change in receiver. Utilizes hands effectively, disrupting timing at the line of scrimmage. That means he likes to press. Displays patience when defending deep routes. That's really good. Communicates well in zone coverage. I like that. Nice ball hawk. Weaknesses: lack ideal play strength, just small. Struggle with consistency and redirectability sometimes. Slower struggles in transition to man coverage. Inconsistent in taking proper pursuit angles against the run. Sounds like this guy doesn't want to tackle. Frame could use additional bulk. Sounds like he's small, don't want to tackle. Can't get overpowered at the line of scrimmage when facing larger and more aggressive blockers. That's just saying he's a smaller cornerback right now. How much did they say he was? 6 foot 188. That's not super small. You can put some muscle on that frame, get better. So ranked 56th best DB, 4.4 40 time. You're just hoping for a project guy. Maybe can turn him into put some weight on him, see if he gets a little bit better. But yeah, that's my mock draft, man. That's my mock draft for the Saints right here. We can go through these picks one more time. We got first round, first pick. We traded back 3 picks with the Cowboys. Got another second rounder. I think we gave up a couple late round picks for that too. Got Will Campbell. Then we got Jack Sawyer. Then we got Tre Harris. Then we got Fannin Jr. Then we got Winston Jr. safety. Then we got Vernon Broughton, defensive lineman, Texas. Josh Preby, guard at Michigan. And we got Fentrell Cypress, cornerback, Florida State. I think that would be a really, really good draft if the Saints were able to come up with this. As you can see, the 12 and 44. I didn't even know they had a trade right there next to them. I think that's what we should do. think we should trade back. I think if we don't have like the guy at 9, we can trade back. Honestly, I think all these players in this draft are really, really even. I don't think it's really a superstar going to be at 9. So if you think you got even talent from like 8 to 15, which I believe is about even talent from 8 to 15, trade back and try to get more picks. Trade back and try to get more picks. Maybe a team's going to reach at number 9. Maybe it's a quarterback still there. Maybe Shador and Cam Ward goes there. Someone falls in love with Milroe or Dart or something like that and want to move up to 9. Maybe we can move back a couple picks and get some more talent. Because at this point, we need to move back. We need to get better players. I think we need to leave this draft with three top 50 picks. That's my goal. That's what I did right here. This is what I would want the Saints to do when it comes to trade-wise. Player-wise might go different. It's early as January, so who knows, what that's going to be like. But player-wise, I think we should have 3 top 50 picks. We should try to make that happen. Even if we got to trade back up from next year's draft to get into this year's draft, I'm okay with that. But I think we should get 3 top 50 picks this draft. Because I think all those players are going to be pretty good players. I don't think we're going to get any superstars. Obviously, you will, just because that's how the nature of the business goes. But that's just the luck of the draw. But I do think those 4 in the top 71 are really, really good picks. And then we'll see how it turns out, man. Let me know what y'all think in the comments below about this first mock draft. Like I said, I'll do more. I'll trade up. Might try to even get the number 1 pick. Don't know if we have enough draft capital for that. But I'll trade up. I'll make some different scenarios. Let me know some scenarios you want to do. We could trade out the first round completely if you want. Just have all second round and then get 2 or 3 first for the next round, for the next year. Just a bunch of scenarios. I'm going to do one every Monday up into the draft. At least that's the plan. Not going to make any promises, but that's going to be the plan. I'm going to try to do mock drafts every Monday up until draft week, and then we'll go from there. And I'll probably do a final one because I've watched a lot of people at that point, and then we can see my final thoughts on what I think the Saints will do. But this is the first one. Hey, don't be too critical. First one. Getting the rust off. But yeah, Will Campbell, Jack Sawyer, Tre Harris, Fannin Jr., Kevin Winston Jr., Vernon Broughton, Josh Preby, Fentrell Cypress. I do like that draft for the Saints if they came real with it. So thank y'all for tuning in once again. As always, this is the Boot Tragedies, and I'm out.